Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Inside Guns with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. Today I want to continue a video I started last week on what I think would be the top 10 nominations for a Handgun Hall of Fame. I did 5 last Friday. I want to do the next 5 today, and I'm still going to number them 1 through 5, even though I already did 1 through 5, because I don't want to have to change the graphics that I use in between. So let's go ahead and get started here on my list of the second set of 5 of what handguns I think are the most important, have had the most effect on the handgun community and the handgun industry. Remember, these aren't what I think are the best guns or what I think are my favorite guns. These are the ones I think are just the most important and deserve to be in the Handgun Hall of Fame. And let's get started here with number 1. All right, at number 1, we have a gun that always makes me think of a high-stakes poker game between a bunch of really fancy-dressed men in the Old West, and it is a type of Derringer. But it's not the original Derringers, which were basically muskets. This is what I think is the most influential Derringer ever, and it is the Remington Model 95. This is a little 2-barrel Derringer, hammer-fired, single action, like what we all think of as Derringers today. You know, this style still exists. It came around in the late 1800s, and it has continued through till today. But it was very popular in the late 1800s to the early 1900s. Like I said, it's that little gun that the gambler had up his sleeve in case things went wrong. And I think these guns are very influential because they brought about the whole idea of tiny little self-defense guns. Yeah, it was just a little 2-shot Derringer, but it was a gun that would get you out of a tight spot that no one knew you had. Maybe you had it in a garter if you were a female. Well, nowadays, who knows? But back then, probably a female if you had it in your garter, or you had it in a vest pocket or up your sleeve. This was a tiny little powerhouse, usually chambered in those days in like a 41, I believe they called it a 41 short. But really cool little gun, has had a lasting effect on the gun community and the industry. Like I said, still available today, and that is the Remington Model 95. All right, at number 2, we have a gun in the same vein as the gun at number 1. It's a small little gun for self-protection, and I kind of think of it as a fancy gentleman's gun. What we're talking about is the Colt 1908 vest pocket. This, like the Derringer, is a tiny little gun that is meant solely for self-defense that you can keep on your person and no one will know it's there. You know, back in the day, vests were designed with little pockets for pocket watches, etc. This gun was designed to slip right in there and no one would even know you had it. Some people even put little chains on them so they could pull them out quickly. So these were a very cool little gun, like I said, that continued the idea of the Derringer of having a tiny little gun on you for self-defense, but it was a semi-automatic. Instead of just having 2 shots, you had 6 shots. You know, this was an awesome little gun. They were chambered in 25 ACP, so they weren't the most powerful thing, but these were an up-close self-protection gun. Now, these were very popular in the 1900s to, early 1900s to mid-1900s, but they're still around today. We've had clones like the Baby Brownings, and nowadays we have the C-Camp, which is pretty much the same idea, except the difference is the C-Camp has a hammer. These were hammerless. These were hammerless, semi-automatic guns that were designed to hide on your person and use solely for self-defense, or at least if you're a good guy, solely for self-defense. So these kind of revolutionized the whole idea of the Derringer, took it another step further into modern times. So at number 2, we have the Colt 1908 vest pocket. All right, at number 3, we have a gun that is synonymous with, mid-19th century police officers in the old TV shows and movies we used to watch. And it definitely revolutionized the gun industry. It is a small little revolver from Colt once again, and it is the Colt Detective Special. Now, this gun came in everything from 32 and 38 new police to 38 special. Had quite a few different chamberings in its history and eventually became the Magnum carry with 357 Magnum. But it's basically the small revolver that started the whole small revolver craze. It was the first one that was very successful, very popular. It was in fiction and in movies and in TV shows and books. It was just all over the place. It's part of the American zeitgeist. You think of the old gumshoes with them, the old beat cops with them, etc., the undercover detective. When you think of that, that's what you think of, these old Colt detective specials. And, when we were kids, we had cap guns, and everybody had a cap gun that was based on the Colt detective special. This gun has had a huge influence on the gun community and the gun industry. It's where all the J-frames come from that are so popular. All these small revolvers, they all pretty much owe their existence to this gun. So at number 3, we have the Colt Detective Special. All right, everybody, at number 4, we have a gun that played a very similar role to the Detective Special as far as its effect on the industry and the community, but it's a semi-automatic. It's a gun that's also associated with law enforcement, police, spies. In fact, its name translates to police pistol criminal, and it is, of course, the PPK. Now, this gun was usually chambered in .32, but I think .380 is the most common caliber and the most popular caliber, and it's the one that's still around today more often than any other caliber, although it does come in a .22 also. But this gun right here was James Bond's gun. This was a gun that was incredibly present in literature. It's part of our culture, almost. Even though he was British and we're Americans, we were originally British. So this is part of our culture in America, and pretty much every country likes James Bond, and they know what he carried. Now, he didn't originally carry a PPK, he carried a little Beretta, but in the books, they switched him to the PPK, and the PPK was popular in the movies. It was present in, the TV shows, movies, whatever, wherever you saw them. He was carrying his Walther PPK. Everyone knew that. This was a gun that is in everyone's mind. Like I said, if you say James Bond, you can't help but think of martinis, shaken not stirred, and a Walther PPK. So it has played a huge part in the gun community and the gun industry, very influential. And like I said, it was designed in the 1930s, about 10 years after the Detective Special, and it is also still around today. And it also has inspired a lot of other guns. Now, a lot of them aren't around as much anymore, like the 232, etc. from Sig Sauer, but it's a little blowback gun. You don't see a lot of blowbacks nowadays. But like I said, in its day, it inspired a lot of things. And everyone knows what it is. Everyone knows who owned it. And everyone, if you're a gun enthusiast or collector, I like to believe you want it or you have it. So this gun has had a huge effect on the gun community and the gun industry, still around today. And at number 4, it's the Walther PPK. All right, everybody, our final gun at number 5 is one that came around in the 50s and is still available today. This was a very popular gun. And not only is it still around today, it's available in multiple variations, and it has inspired a whole genre of guns pretty much. And I am talking about the Smith & Wesson Model 29. This is Dirty Harry's .44 Magnum revolver. This is one of the first guns where people started thinking about things like, can this gun blow your head clean off? It's the do you feel lucky punk gun. Dirty Harry really made this gun popular, but it's been popular since it came around. And like I said, still available in many different versions today. You can get it in everything from a lightweight version to stainless steel, to fancy editions, engraved, etc. Just all kinds of versions of this gun, different barrel lengths, still very popular. And like I said, it's one of the first .44 Magnum guns that really caught on, that everybody wanted it. Back in the day, it was like, why would I need a .44 Magnum handgun? I'm not hunting bear at the bus stop. But then Dirty Harry came along and everybody was like, I want a .44 Magnum. So this gun had a huge influence on the industry. And not only did it influence the industry in that way, but a lot of other guns took their influence from this gun, from the Dirty Harry blow your head off gun, and started thinking, well, how powerful can handguns be? So we started having 454 Casuls and 500 Magnums and 460 Smith & Wesson Magnums, lots of just kind of like ridiculously powered handgun revolvers, just all over the place. And they owe their existence to how popular this gun became. I really believe that. It even influenced things like Desert Eagles because they're like, hey, let's make some semi-autos that are as powerful as the big revolvers, or at least as close as a semi-auto can get. So this gun not only was very popular in its own right, very capable in its own right, it became almost like a cult item because of Dirty Harry, something that every collector wanted, and it had a huge influence on the industry as a whole. So definitely the Model 29 deserves its place at number 5 on this list. All right, everybody, there's the final 5 of my top 10 nominations for the Fictional Handgun Hall of Fame. Do you agree with my selections? Do you have selections you think are more deserving? Let me know in the comments section below. With that being said, I want to remind everyone, if you are not a patron of this channel yet and you would like to be, and you would like to support the Pets and Vets program, it's a program we run where we monthly help pet organizations and veterans organizations, charities in need. We take what we can make from this channel and we do what we can for other people and other animals. And if you want to be a patron and support Pets and Vets, go on over to patreon.com/Yankee Marshall. There's a link in the upper corner of this video, and support the Pets and Vets program and, the other patrons we support on YouTube to try to keep pro-gun voices on the internet. If you go over and join today or tomorrow, you'll be registered in the first drawing for the free silver bullet. I'm giving away a silver bullet from Minuteman Ammo. It is a live actual round. It is solid silver, will definitely take down a werewolf. You will be protected against those werewolves because, they'll smell the silver on you and smell the gunpowder and hey, that guy's got a silver bullet. I'm going to leave him alone. You'll never even have to fire it. But, it's free because I'm going to be choosing one person from all the new subs and giving them the bullet. And don't think it's like, oh, I'll have a 1 in 1,000 chance. I get about 5 to 6 new subs a month. So it's not like it's a big group of people. I'm hoping it will be bigger to justify giving away the silver bullets. I'm trying to get people to join. So I'm hoping I'll be choosing between at least like 20 people. But if you go over there and you donate $5 or more, you will be registered to be in the running to receive this silver bullet that will be given away each month. And if you go over in the next 24 hours, 48 hours, today or tomorrow, before midnight tomorrow, you'll be in the first drawing. So go on over there. There's only, a handful of people registered so far. I'm really hoping I'll trick people into joining and then they'll forget and not unjoin for a few months. And that way it'll pay for the silver bullet, because they don't unsub. So don't unsub, just go over and donate. But like I said, if you want to donate now, if you want to support Pets and Vets, and you want a shot at the very first of the silver bullets we're giving away, go over and become a patron before midnight tomorrow, and good luck to all of you. And with that being said, I am out of here. Hope you enjoyed the show. I'll see you again tomorrow. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe until I see you again.